Do you have no idea how to lose belly fat at the gym and at home? I'll share 3 tips how you finally lose the weight and keep it off. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure that you are hitting the subscribe button, but also hit the notification bell to get notified whenever I'm posting a new video about weight loss advice. Using these tips to lose 60 pounds in 8 months and kept it off for 12 years, so I'm so excited to help you lose weight. First tip is we have to figure out your maintenance calories. And maintenance calories is basically just how many calories your body needs to maintain its weight. So how we do this specifically is that I have a macro calculator where you can type in your informations like your gender, your height, your weight, your activity levels, and just also the goals for you right now. So after we've been doing that, you'll get to a page where it says like how many calories and also how many macros. So we're always focusing on a high protein diet where it's like 45% protein, 40% carbs, and then we have the fats. So after you're doing that, you have a high protein diet where it's basically just you being able to lose weight much faster, but you're also going to feel less cravings when you are trying to lose weight. But when you're trying to have a high protein diet, the amount of protein you're eating also helps you actually build a lot more muscle. So by building more muscle, you're going to have a higher rate of calories you're burning each day. That could be like 100 to 200 calories more. You will reduce your hunger levels a lot more because you're not craving so many carbs or eating a bunch of shit in the evening. So that's going to help you a lot, but also feeling like very satiated between the meals. So that's also very good because it reduces the snacking. And also being able to have more protein also helps you in regards to just fast recovery from when you're working out, for example. I also have a list for you guys in regards to how the protein sources are. For example, lean chicken breast without any fat on it. There's like 23 grams of protein per 100 grams of serving. But you also have to make sure that when you are, for example, weighing the foods, it should be in dry state because the amount of calories there in dry state food is very different when it's in cooked food. So just make sure that you have that. And also there's salmon, there's tuna, there's slow digestible proteins, for example, cottage cheese before you are like sleeping. And we also have fast digestible protein that could be whey protein that you're consuming after you're working out. And we also have carbs. So there are a lot of reasons why carbs are very important for you guys. For example, it can help you get a lot more energy when you are wanting to perform, for example, a marathon. So you see marathon runners, they are running like 2 hours, for example. So they always have slow digestible carbs to release the energy through a longer period. And also we have another benefit is, for example, you being able to sleep a much better, like eating a snack before you are trying to sleep because it's just helping you with the recovery. And you're also getting a lot more energy and focus when you're eating carbs before like you're working out because it's just you are filling your glycogen stores with a lot of carbs and just makes you feel like you have a fuckload of energy. And also when you're working out or like before you're working, that could just be a very great boost for you to have some energy in your system. So you not only have energy to the workout, but also afterwards when you're working because you have a lot more focus. So these are some of the benefits when it comes to, for example, using carbs, having 40% carbs in your diet. And there are some carb sources I would recommend. For example, there are fast digestible carbs, which is something that is very digestible. It's just going in out to your body very soon. And that could be like sugar, like baked goods. It could be white pasta, white rice. And we also have some slow digestible carbs, which is helping you feel fuller for longer. So you don't snack between the meals and just ending up eating more calories than you need. That could be oatmeal, whole wheat bread, it could be white pasta, and it could be brown pasta, for example. So these are some of the resources that are going to be helpful to you guys. I recommend 15 to 20% of your daily calories coming from fat. And the reason is that if you're eating a lot of low calorie foods, you're getting a lot more food for the amount of calories you are getting when you are eating foods that are high in fat, for example, bacon, or you're eating a lot of butter on steaks. You're just having a lot less calories that you can eat from and not feeling so hungry throughout the day. And by eating a low fat diet, you're also going to reduce the risk of diabetes, heart problems, also lowering your cholesterol. So that's going to make your doctor very happy. I also want to share why fibers in your diet is so important for you guys. So when you are eating fibers, that could be like oatmeal, whole wheat bread, veggies, pasta, brown pasta, you're going to feel a lot more full when you are eating meals because you are not feeling so hungry between the meals because that's just making you snack a lot. And it also eases up with the constipation and also bloatedness. It also makes you feel that you have a lot more stable blood sugar and also having a lot more focus when you're, for example, working because you're not distracted with being hungry all the time. So I would say 20, 40 grams of fibers in your diet every single day. So that's going to be very helpful for you guys. So I'd love to know, why do you specifically want to lose weight? Just drop a comment in the comment section. I'd love to hear what you think. Now you have laid the foundation with regards to the calories and macros you need to maintain your weight. And now I want to get into a calorie deficit so you can actually lose the weight. So a calorie deficit is just you eating less calories than your body needs. And if you're doing that over a long period of time, you're going to naturally lose weight, but also body fat. So that's a very good thing to do. So what I always recommend that we start off with the maintenance calories, just figure out how many calories your body needs to maintain its weight. And then we go down to like a small calorie deficit of 200 calories. And the reason why you want to go into a small calorie deficit first is if it's too big already, you're most likely not going to stick with it because aggressive diets are not sustainable in the long run because people are just not used to that. So you have to be in a small calorie deficit for like 2 weeks because your body needs an amount of time for your body to actually think, wow, what is happening? And then you're just in a small calorie deficit for 2 weeks and your metabolism is slowing. In order to make meal plans and eat the foods you love, you have to use a tool. And that tool could be MyFitnessPal, where you just go to the homepage and you create an account and you subscribe to a premium subscription because it has a lot of benefits. So from there, you just type in your age, your height, your weight, your current weight, and also the activity levels. And then it'll get you a lot of the benefits when it comes to how to structuring your meal plans at first. So from there, you just make sure that you go to, for example, goals, and you type in, for example, your goal weight, your current weight, your macros. And when you've been doing that, you go to this next thing. So on the screen, you will see an example of how it looks like when you're typing in your macros, but also your calories. And from there, there's a function that is called recipe discovery, where it's only available for people in the US or English speaking countries. But what you could do is that you can go to your phone settings and just change it to English language. And by doing that, you're going to get a lot of different kinds of recipes for you to pick from. That could be like breakfast, lunch, snacking, or for dinner with your family. And what you basically do is that you just make sure that you are picking different kinds of meals where you can see the macros, like 30 grams of protein for every single meal, and also around 40 grams of carbs. Because if you're looking at the bar of this app, you can see how many calories there are, but also the bar is filling. So that basically just means like 50% of your protein intake is already done. So that's already amazing. So what you can do is that you can figure out what kind of recipe piece by dragging and dropping it. So the bar is adjusting every single time. And these recipes, they have, for example, a list of ingredients. It also have how to prepare the food. So there's no guesswork around that. So I just love this tool because it just makes life so easy. And you also want to make two different kinds of meal plans because if you're eating the same foods every single day, it kind of be boring. So you can just switch between the meal plans you're creating. So making two meal plans is very important. Step is workout. So we already figured out how maintenance calorie is, but also how to create your meal plans in the food you love. So workout tips is just hypertrophy. So that basically just means that creating as much muscle growth as possible. And you're thinking, why do you want to create a lot of muscle growth? But the more muscle mass you have, the more fat you will burn. So it's like a catalyst, which basically means that it's like a your engine, like your body's on fire when you have a lot of muscle. So you can lose anywhere from 100, 200 grams, even more at rest without you doing anything. So principle that is called my muscle connection is very helpful when it comes to like building a lot of muscle. So that's basically just means that you're creating a mixed picture between your head and also the muscle groups that you are working out. So it's about feeling the muscle when you're working out, but not just moving the muscle. Because it's like when you are moving the muscles, like just like heavy lifting and swinging when you're doing like dumbbell curls compared to if you're actually feeling the muscle being contracted, where you have lower weight and then you can just feel the muscle being contracted. Through that, you are getting a lot of blood flow into the muscle group, and you're also breaking down the muscle tissues through working out and using heavier weights, and through rest and dieting you're going to build these muscle tissues up so the muscles are getting stronger, and also just being able to help you lose weight much faster because you have bigger and stronger muscle. And there's also something I want to share in regards to cardio. So when you're doing cardio, you, for example, do low intensity workout, steady cardio, which is just basically just doing cardio on a cross trainer or stationary bike where there's low resistance, and there's a moderate resistance, because if you are doing like workouts on a treadmill, there's no resistance at all. And sometimes people, when they are working out, they don't have a lot of intensity. So what I recommend is like doing 4 times of cardio after you're working out on a cross trainer or stationary bike, and you have a Apple Watch, for example, where you can take your heartbeat. It's like 120, 150, because it's just you're burning a lot of calories when you are doing it this way. Doing cardio is basically just a tool to help you lose weight much faster. And when it comes to yeah, and when it comes to for example, working out with weights, you have to understand like the right form to do it. So that's why I always recommend that when you're starting out with weights, that you are focusing on compound movements 3 times or 2 times of these exercises in the beginning. And compound movement is just you activating a lot more muscle groups. The best example could be, let's say, squat. When you're squatting, you're activating your glutes, your hamstrings, your quads, your legs, calves, and that's going to help you not only being strong in the gym but also in daily life, because it mimics a lot of the same activities. For example, if you have something heavy you are lifting from above and you're going down and put it down, that's some of the activities that's going to help you. And also very time saving, because you're working out a lot of muscle groups at the same time, and it's also making sure that you are it's very taxing, so you don't want to do more than 2 or 3 of these compound movements. And it also going to stimulate a lot of muscle groups, because as I mentioned, they are activating a lot of muscle groups at the same time. So that's why I always recommend doing it that way. And after you've been working out the compound movements, you want to make sure that you go to isolation movements. And isolation movements are just working out single muscle groups. For example, if you're working out legs, you're working out the whole legs with the compound movements. But if you're working out with like isolation movement, that could be leg extension, you are basically just working out the front part of the leg, which is the quads. So that's going to help you stimulate it even further, because you're already tired from doing a lot of compound movements. So that's just some of the tips that I have. And the last thing I want to share with you in regards to that is the workout part, like the sets. For example, I always recommend doing 4 sets. The first set is just you getting some blood flow out to your muscles so you can warm it up. That could be picking a weight, 10 kilos for squat or 20 kilos for squat. And then you do 10 to 14 reps, just getting some blood flow out. And afterwards, you go to the first set. So the first set, you increase the weight because progressive overload is helping you like break down the muscle tissues even more. And through rest and dieting, you're going to get stronger. And you also have to increase the weight every single set. So you're progressively trying to stimulate your muscle growth by like adding more workload to it. So the first set could be instead of 10 kilos, it could be 15 kilos, and you perform that 10 to 12 reps. So you have to try to make sure that you are always pushing yourself like 1 to 2 reps before 12 reps. And if you're able to do that with great form, you just do the next set. That could be second set with 17 kilos, and you do that for 10 to 12 reps. And that's just going to see that you're always progressing every single week. And the third step could also like be increasing the weight like 20 kilos, and you just do 10 to 12 reps. So you're always maximizing yourself and pushing yourself like 1, 2 reps before your failure. Like you're not able to do it anymore. And these are just some of the tips I've been utilizing to build a lot of muscle growth, but also losing weight because of more muscle growth just helps you burn a lot more fat. If you're struggling with losing weight, I'd love to help you. You can use the link in the description or in the comment section where you can book a call with me. Or if you need any more help, you can use the free weight loss guide I have in the description as well, where I have 14 proven steps that can help you lose the weight and keep it off. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to check out my next video where I'm sharing more tips on how you can lose the weight and keep it off.